Live, live, live. We
Hey,
live.
like, subscribe, talk shit in the comments. My mic's working today, right?
Yeah, sounding good.
All right.
You're not in that
Episode
new
what?
studio though.
I was gonna go to the old studio, the new studio,
Yeah.
the old studio, but then it's like we didn't. But I fixed it. I know what was wrong. I fixed it. So
Okay,
we'll
so
we'll,
next week.
we'll be back in the octagon. We'll be back in the octagon. So look at we ended it last time talking about the culture and
Right.
bringing topics on the show about the culture.
Right.
Did you see the Black Sam at the Marathon Burger?
I saw that.
What he
Yeah.
said?
I
Did you
like
see what
that.
he
Yeah.
said? Now
Uh,
you understand what was going on.
Rockstar, I believe is the guy's
Rockstar
name.
2800.
He is a fellow Crip,
He's a Crip.
and they're actually homies.
Well, I wouldn't go that far. So basically, what happened is that Whack 100 basically talked down about Nipsey Hussle after Nipsey passed away.
Yeah. Oh, Whack 100
Rock,
did.
yeah, and he's on No Jumper. 20 Rockstar 2800's been on No Jumper, and Nipsey's older brother Black Sam saw Whack 100 talking bad about Nipsey in front of Rockstar, and Rockstar didn't really say anything about it.
Okay, yeah, I've heard that.
And so when they saw each other at the event, and Rockstar 2800, bro, he's a clout chaser, bro. Like he's man, he'll do anything for views and clout.
I heard he's on Clubhouse a lot.
Clubhouse chasing, like he's riding Whack 100's coattails to try to build up his name.
Yeah.
So if he's trying to create engagement and arguments with Whack 100 to get him more views on YouTube.
Right. Okay.
It's all for the clout, bro.
Got you.
So when he went to that event, he called up Whack 100. He's like, "Oh, bro, I'm over here. I see Black Sam and shit." Whack 100 went back and said what happened. But what kind of pussy ass bullshit is that? A, B. Black Sam was basically saying, "Bro, nah. If someone's speaking on my brother's name, do something.
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't see nothing. Go demonstrate." Because what I'm seeing is nothing's being handled. So he told him, he's like, "Why don't you do this? Go and do something, then come back and talk to me."
Yeah, don't tell me like what happened. Go make it right and do something to Whack.
Right. Or don't even come up over here.
Yeah.
So I just that was the topic. I dropped a reaction on that. The homie Hoodie Hood dropped a reaction on that as well. And
Dude,
Hoodie's
that shit was viral. I don't even care that you brought that up on here if it's not MMA related. Just because like I saw so many people reposting that shit.
yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. I think we hit like on our main page, like I don't know, 1,000 likes or whatever and shit.
Okay. So wait, Black Sam and Rockstar from the same gang though?
They're different neighborhoods, but they're still Crips, but different neighborhoods.
And so what is this Rockstar guy doing kicking it with Whack? Because Whack's not a Crip, he's a Blood, right?
Right. He just because it's the clout, bro. It's the clout.
Okay, so he's like one of these new age gangsters where it's like you can you can kick it with people for content
Yeah.
who aren't from your hood.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, got you.
I mean, YG was there. You know what I mean? YG's a Pyru as well from a treetop from he was at the event. Nipsey and YG, they did a video together. So they realized there's a bigger picture for of them not banging and shit, right?
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't even about that. It was about the fact that like, hey man, this dude's talking bad on my brother's name, and you're in his presence and you don't even say shit. That's like you and me hanging out, and Kevin's over here talking shit about you
Mm-hmm.
in front of me, and I don't say nothing, and you see, and you're like, bro, I thought we were cool.
Right.
You know what? A matter of fact, don't even stop by the crib no more, bro.
Yeah. Yeah, it's fair enough.
Right? You see what
Right.
I'm trying to say? You see the comparison?
Even something as little as like kind of giggling, right? When someone else is talking shit about someone, that's enough to kind of, not
the
fuck
fact
with
that
them anymore.
Right. And there's two things here. It's his brother, bro. He passed away. I mean, of course you're gonna feel a certain way.
Mm-hmm.
Of course you're gonna feel a certain way. So you could tell he's felt a certain way though.
Yeah, Black Sam was heated.
Oh, he was hella heated, bro. He's like, I can't tell. I can't tell. Go do something and then come back.
He pushed
Go
him
do
away
something
too. I
and
saw
then
him like
come back.
pushing him in the back and shit like that.
Yeah. No, he was heated,
Yeah.
bro. Man, he's like, man, not today. Don't stop over here today with all that shit, man. I'm not having it.
Bro, if I'm being honest though, some of those videos, tell me what you think about this. Am I being crazy? So you had all those guys from the hood in there cooking the burgers. I'm like, bro, like, who knows about the sanitary guidelines and shit? Like, get the real chefs in there. Like they got no
That's low
hairnets
key
and
funny.
shit. Yeah,
That's low key funny. Actually, that's low key funny. Did we wash our hands? You know
I
what
know,
mean?
right? That's what I was saying. Like, come
Oh,
on,
and
bro. I don't know
I
if I
have a
want to
big
eat that shit.
I have a big pet peeve, bro. People not wearing gloves and shit when handling my food.
Yeah,
I'm not
100%.
eating it. I'm not eating it.
So
That's
I don't
funny.
know who was eating those burgers and shit like that, but I feel like
That's
they were
funny.
trying to do a good deed, so I won't diss them too hard.
Oh yeah, for
Yeah.
sure, for sure.
All right, so let's quickly just start off with those eye pokes, right? In the main event last week,
Another eye poke.
another eye poke controversy.
And they didn't
Almabayev
call
came
it.
out today.
And they could. What did we say yesterday? Stop everything. Let's look at it.
Mm-hmm. There was no reviews. I guess there's not even rules in place. Like, what if they reviewed that they're gonna give Almabayev the win after he got knocked out due to eye pokes? Just doesn't sound right.
You
I
definitely
mean-
take a point, right? You definitely take a point.
Yeah, or just a no contest. It's a nothing.
Because I mean, see, my thing was like he tried to like, and there's sometimes too with the language barrier. He tried. It was like, remember he went like that.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, hey, the ref should have been like, hey, can someone say something here? Like, we need someone on the corner outside the octagon looking at the camera. That's the main ref, the main the main ref. Like, whoa, 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 whoa. Yeah, he did scratch it.
Like an automatic replay for them. Like, no matter if it gets called in anywhere, they're like, hey, eye poke, we're already on that, replaying it before anyone can even say anything. Like, hey, we just saw something. You know what I'm saying? We need more initiative.
Yeah. Well, but you're a $1 billion company. It's not like you're some hole in a wall that fucking is on a very tight budget that can't afford to do it.
If we don't talk about it, it's just going to slip through the cracks. People are going to let it kind of just like squeak by, right? And I don't know what's so hard about it. Just an automatic point deduction. But I guess, like I just said, though, with Kape and Almabayev like got knocked out shortly after that. So what do you do there? Just make it a no contest? Well, he got finished, right?
Well, no, I mean, he like, remember he was chasing him?
Yeah, and then he hit him with like a double fucking like triple eye poke.
Well, he was chasing him, and then like he kind of like he almost was going for the takedown, and I thought, oh, the ref kind of called this too soon. Like I don't know, like I thought it got called too soon.
Okay, I'm not saying he flatlined him, but he finished him.
I mean, they did call it. Yeah.
Yeah, they called it. So my thing is like, what do you do there? Right? So even if because you can't give him the win, but I feel like you also maybe don't need to give Kape the win. That's what I'm trying to say.
And here's the interesting thing too: is like who was really winning the fight?
Kape.
Oh, he was destroying him, bro.
Yeah.
He was destroying him. Like he fucking looked like a level above him. Now all the little things in between with this, like it kind of looked like what, like he like that, right?
It was just like straight up like pawing. Like call it pawing.
Yeah.
Like open hand pawing.
And it looked like he could have said like he kind of like scratched it almost and shit like that. So like it's gonna affect you. He was just trying to go like that. The ref should have stopped it there. There were so many instances, and then it happened again. And then, but he was rocking him. My whole thing was like he was rocking him. He looked way better than him. I wish that they would have intervened, is the word I want to use. Intervened, looked at it, said, "Hey, we're gonna take a point. Let's continue the fight. Are you good to go? Do you need a doctor in here?"
Mm-hmm.
Because he seemed like, he wasn't like blinded, but it did, it was affecting him.
Yeah, the
Because
problem.
it was the second and third round, I believe, that it happened.
I guess part of the problem is though, if it doesn't go to a decision, right, and there's a finish, the point deduction is pretty much like null and void. Like it never even matters. So like we're even kind of saying like there should have been a point deduction in the last 2 weeks, but it's like they both couldn't continue the fight. It wouldn't have mattered. They both would have been technically finished either way because you deduct a point, right, and then Cejudo can't continue if he finished out that second round still, and then it's like okay,
and I think the
loss for your record.
The Cejudo fight was different because the other homie Song Yadong wasn't like dominating him, right? It was very
closer,
even.
but he still couldn't continue after he got poked.
And he couldn't continue. I think in this instance, it looked like he still could continue, but he wasn't given the time to even have like, hey, let me wipe it out. Let me make sure, no one intervened to even like say, hey, let's take a look at this. And Manel Kape, now, and this is what I will say about Kape. What I like about him, bro, when there's blood in the water, he attacks.
Oh yeah, he's a finisher.
I love that. I love that about him. He is fucking going for the kill, and that's what you want to see. You want to see a guy in the top 5 that's his demeanor. and we talk about finishes and people that really get the light shine brighter on them. His lights shine
great on the microphone. You know, to be honest, let me give you a straight up assessment, right? And I feel like it's a compliment to Kape in a way, but straight up from my feelings. Obviously, I wasn't too excited for that fight last weekend. You know, Almabayev, I barely know him. Can't tell you who else he's fought other than Kape. So I wasn't too excited. The fight happened. I wasn't super tuned in while the fight was happening, if I'm being honest, right? But with all that being said, my guy Kape gets on the mic, right? And he's able to capture me and remind me, okay, all right, maybe, you know, Kape is worth tuning into. He calls his shots. He's exciting. He's got conviction. He did finish him, you know, regardless of what you want to say. So I can get behind Kape. And maybe I'm not super excited for his fights, but he has other ways of drawing in viewers. A lot of the featherweights don't have that. And then he gets on the post show, and he did a FaceTime with Pantoja. Good shit. Good shit.
And they were very respectful towards each other too.
They were, but they were talking. Like talking and having a good conversation.
Yeah.
You know, JDM, right, can't even have a good conversation.
I love how you're so like critical of the fighters.
Yeah, because I have to be.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
It's almost my new role. It's like how I kind of like, it's just how I see things. You feel me?
I love it. I play that role. I love it.
But at the same time, I feel like, you know, Kape, I just gave him some credit, right?
So if you were to give yourself an alter ego, what would you name your alter ego? As the criticizer?
Like something along those lines, like a label for myself?
Yeah.
An alter ego. Well, I feel like I'm just a really blunt person.
Okay, Mr. Blunt?
Yeah, probably. Like, I don't really consider how you'll take it.
What's it like that, Mr. Blunt?
Yeah, Mr. Blunt.
All right. That's going to be your new
nickname. Roll him up and smoke him.
All right. We got it.
Hey, so if I'm ever on a tangent, I was just thinking about this before we started. We got to tell people, you know, once the viewership gets up more, like, you know, drop some things in the chat. You know, some emojis, get some reactions going. So I guess if I'm on one, drop the smoke in the chat.
I like that. All right,
fair enough.
If I'm on one, drop the shit emoji.
The shit emoji because he's talking some shit. All right, fair enough. What was the word you just said for me?
Mr. Blunt?
Blunt. That's why, because I'm being blunt, rolling them up and smoking them. So drop that smoke in the chat. Any other fights on that card you want to talk about? To be honest, I don't have anything for you.
Yeah, sure.
Other than the fact, go ahead.
Yes, Cody Brundage, great knockout. He clipped him, got him. Nasrat really got on my radar after beating Ribovics. You know what Ribovics taught me in that fight? I was very high on him. He will always keep pressing and going forward. Like there's no quit on him. However, he has to add a couple more elements to his game. Nasrat beat him at his own game. And that's what I thought was very interesting.
Another war, though, right? I didn't watch it.
It was a war.
Fill me in.
It was a war. It was a war. They were going back and forth. And Ribovics would throw 6. Nasrat would throw 8. And I was like, bro, he's really in a stand-up war. Nasrat was a step above him, and you could just tell. I mean, it was a game of like maybe 10 more punches that really solidified Nasrat's. But you could just tell in the demeanor of the fight that he was always just getting another hit in. So I thought that was impressive. You know, it really was. Like, he deserves to probably be in that top 5 discussion. He's a dog, that's for sure. He is a dog. William Gomez, Hyder Emil really impressed me. Gomez was high on my radar. He was 12-2 or 14-2 at the time. He gassed out in the third. Hyder Emil had like that Marab energy bunny in him. Kept going. And Gomez looked good, bro. There was a couple of moments I thought, oh, Gomez really does look good. But Hyder was able to outlast him in the third, and he was able to beat him. I believe it was the second round to get 2 out of 1 because it went to a decision.
Okay.
Sam Patterson, woo! Watch out for him in a welterweight.
Let me get a comment on that when you're done breaking that one down before you move on to the next fight.
Yeah.
Go ahead though. When you're done breaking that one down.
I was gonna say the Sam Patterson.
Yeah.
Danny Barlow was I was pressing him, and Sam Patterson just fucking was able to like get back in it, weather the storm.
That was some good shit. I saw that knockout. Good counter. Right on the cage.
Because Danny Barlow,
good eyes.
He was pressing him. I was like, oh shit, Sam Patterson's like, he's getting hit a little bit.
A little reckless too on Barlow's part.
Yeah.
He should have been more calculated, pick his shots on the cage. It's a lesson to be learned there.
And maybe Sam Patterson was a little bit more calculated, right?
Right.
He's like, ooh, I'm kind of seeing what I'm seeing here. I'm taking some shots. I can take them. Ooh, I found one.
Boom.
Ding, ding. And then when he went for that kill, I was like, ooh.
Yeah.
And he's big. He's big. I think he's like 6'2".
Yeah. Okay, you're done with that one?
Yeah.
I got Sam Patterson's next opponent lined up.
Okay.
I got him lined up. The interview is gonna drop, right? I gotta get it out ASAP, especially because I'm gonna tease it right now. You know, okay. Jacoby Smith coming off a big knockout earlier this year. He called him out. He says he wants to get that lick back for Danny Barlow. He's not happy. He said he wants that white boy.
Right.
He said he wants that white boy.
All right.
So it's one of those fights. It's one of those ones. He was not happy seeing him get knocked out last weekend.
Yeah, he got him.
Yeah. America versus England. So I'm going to drop that interview though. So Sam Patterson, if you see this, if you want to fight, in the next couple months, I'm going to put out this clip probably. You got an opponent lined up. That's a good ass fight too. Because Jacoby Smith, he's a beast.
And Sam Patterson didn't call anybody out, I believe.
I don't know. But I'm telling you.
I don't think so.
Coming off that win, if Sam Patterson beats a guy like Jacoby Smith, he's going to be right up there in title contention within this year, within the next 6 months. And if Jacoby Smith beats this guy calling a shot...
Well, I wouldn't know about that.
No, not Jacoby Smith. Well, okay, because of this interview I dropped, or we just did, right? You're going to see. But let me give you a preview of this, actually, because this guy was shocking me. This guy, Jacoby Smith, he's DC's guy, okay? And if you're not familiar, DC's saying this guy's the next Khabib.
Okay.
He's saying he's the next Khabib. And so when I was speaking to him, I was like, what do you want? What are you trying to, accomplish in this year? Like, who are you trying to fight and shit? And this guy's already talking about the belt. Like, he thinks he can beat Bilal now. And I'm like, so you just want to get pushed? Like, you want to go right up there and shit? And he's like, yeah, but, I don't know if they'll give it to me. But, I want a top 15 opponent, next. And this guy just made his... Yeah, Jacoby Smith.
Who did he fight last?
Preston Parsons in his UFC debut, first round knockout. Okay. People are saying it's knockout of the year contender. But he told me, he's like, I want a top 15 opponent. He's kind of with conviction saying this. And I'm like, all right, bro, if the UFC sees this shit, I feel like they'll give it to you. But I was like,
where is he at with Brian Battle? How do you think they would gauge?
I mean, bro, for him, right? Brian Battle isn't even on his radar. He's looking at Bilal.
Damn.
That's what I was saying. I'm like, dude, nobody's talking like you're talking right now. This is crazy.
And I love it then. I love that. Okay, I love that.
Yeah, and so I was also like...
As long as you can back it up. Yeah.
Right, and I was like, so who do you want to get there? And that's when he was like, all right, well, that white boy last weekend who knocked out Danny Barlow. Give me him. Right. And I'm like, all right, shit. Dude, this guy's confident as fuck.
Love to see it.
And he's even saying, it's not even the guys ahead right now. I'm worried about the guys coming up. I even worried about these guys ahead. I'm like, all right, bro, shit. I'm not going to say much. You got to show us, right? But, I'm going to, that's what he's been saying. I'm like, I ain't going to tell you no.
So then you're right. Sam Patterson's a great test. Because if you get past that, then, let's start talking about it. Because, Sam Patterson looked good.
You knock out that guy, Patterson, because let's look real quick. This is actually pretty exciting. Let's look at this real quick. Patterson, 13-2-1. I think he's got a good record in the UFC. 3-1.
Yeah.
He's coming off 2 submissions and a knockout. So that's a good
I
name.
like that too. I like that 2 submissions and a knockout.
Yeah, well-rounded.
Well-rounded.
Yeah. All right, bro. So look out for that interview. Moving on, if you want to cover any more undercards.
Was it Mario Pinto?
Yeah, I'm seeing it right here. Pinto versus Lane.
Clean. Oh, bro.
Yeah, that Pinto guy seems to be a prospect too. He speaks good English.
I don't remember now.
Okay. I think he does, but he doesn't look like he speaks very good English, but apparently he does.
Yeah, clean knockout for a big boy. I think he's undefeated as well. The last thing, Charles Johnson ended up getting the loss. I thought,
shout out Charles.
The one thing I thought was that if it was a 5-round fight, I think you could see Temirov slowing down. But what that should tell you is you need to bring that same energy into the second and third, because it almost like Temirov outmaneuvered him.
Well, interesting, because I believe, because let's see here, right? Charles, I think, in my opinion, I feel like he only won the third round, but I wasn't watching super close. But
third round.
Other people, like Joaquin, believes Charles won that fight. What do you think? Because you're saying Charles didn't do well late. So what? You think he won the first two?
No, I'm saying he did well late. I'm saying
he bring that energy he brings in the second and third.
Yeah, he was fighting like it was a 5-rounder.
Right.
Demirov was fighting like it was a 3-rounder.
You're saying he started slow.
Yeah, and what he did too was that he won the first round like kind of on a stand-up and a little bit more power. And in the second round, he kind of changed up his style. And in the third round, Charles, you could tell, was pressing, bringing more, getting more landed. You could tell Temirov was slowing down. So it was like if it would have went into the fourth and fifth, I could have easily saw it going 3-2.
Easy. Did you score it 2-1 Temirov?
Yeah.
Okay.
It was close. I mean, it was close. Don't get me wrong.
First round was close, right?
I thought it was too close for comfort. You cannot leave in a judge's hands being that close, especially when you're trying to get through these top 10 guys. He needed to press that second round. He really did. And what Temirov did is he was going for the takedown. So he did a stand up on the first and he went to takedown on the second as a strategy, and it worked. Because that leaves you an impression when you're doing takedowns too.
Yeah, something.
And you're changing up your style.
Right, and I remember that probably won him the first round because it was close, but he was also kind of like, what's his name?
He had more heavier shots too. He had more damage in the first. He clearly.
And Charles was like falling too and shit. Like I think he was going for takedowns, getting reversed. So I know Joaquin kind of thought that he won that, but that's a tough one. You got to just make it a little bit more definitive.
You really do, and like I said. In my eyes, it's like if let's say it was me fighting, it would be like, bro, but man, you didn't beat me, but you beat me. You know what I mean? Like it's not like you knocked him out or he submitted him or anything and shit. It was a very close fight. I just thought he just did a little bit more. I think there's something to learn from that experience.
Okay, all right. Anything else on that card? All right. I guess.
Oh, the Apex shit, bro. Like
that's what I also wanted to talk about, right? The Apex and the pay-per-views and shit like that.
Yeah, well, because I saw Ariel's build up on Monday, and he was all like, bro, we were watching this, the boxing match, and then you see the Apex, and you're like, what are we doing here?
I feel like they also just gave it a shit card because they don't even want to compete with Gervonta because they know everybody's going to be watching or something.
And see, here's my thing. I liked the card. I enjoyed it. I didn't think it was a shit card. But the energy you heard during a boxing, and I'm not a boxing. We talked about this before. I'm not really. But there's something to be said with the full crowd there, and you're watching it,
and everyone's talking about it.
Yeah, there's something to be said of how the room goes out of the air, and you're comparing it to the Apex, and there's like 100. I don't know how many people even go there. It's something not right with it. And even for the fighters, you don't get the full experience of the crowd being there.
I think that's the biggest issue is like one could say that you're not getting the best performances out of these guys,
But you can't. And here's the flip side. You can't have that mindset because you have to win. If it's one person in a room, if 0 people in the room, because it's going on your record, right?
Right.
Now that does because the magnitude of a loss is so significant. However, you're right. You lose the.
Let me give you an example.
Yeah.
If you go to the gym, right, and you got there's like some bad bitch working out next to you, right? You're probably gonna,
press a little harder.
That bench that you're trying to hit, you're gonna try a little bit harder. You're probably gonna get it too, right? But if there ain't no chicks there, you don't got too much testosterone running through your body.
Taking your time. Like I'll get my set in.
It's just a little bit different. You might get it in, but it just is different anyway. You're not even as pumped up. Yeah. To run that. Yeah. So it seems like they're gonna do more shows. It seems like they're gonna do more Apex shows. They don't think that it's different for the viewer at home. You're saying it is.
I saw them say that too. Yeah.
So
that's a spin.
I'll take it with a grain of salt because he said it at some type of like Charles Schwab convention. Nothing to do with UFC. I don't think this guy has much of a say. I think if Dana's saying the opposite, what's this guy going to say? No?
Yeah.
He's the president. Dana is the CEO. Yeah. So.
We'll see.
We'll see. Another thing they're talking about again And Ariel said this, I think, today. Ariel was saying, like, like people who like the UFC today should have seen it 5, 6, 7 years ago. Today it's just a simple fact that there's a huge lack of star power. So, it's wide open. It's wide open for the taking. Pereira right now, you've seen it. He took it right over. He didn't have to do much. So I'd like to see who's the next star going to be. I think I know who. You know what I mean? But not
Who?
too many. Joaquin.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Joaquin. Let's see here. Okay, so let's just get this one out of the way then. Gervonta Davis, hair grease.
Yeah.
You're not a boxing guy, but you don't even need to be a boxing guy for this one.
Yeah.
Kind of crazy, right?
Yeah, it was kind of crazy.
I feel like that's a soft move.
Never heard that before.
Yeah. A little bit of a soft move, but what's boxing without a little controversy?
Yeah, and the homie he was fighting, what's his name? Who was Davis fighting?
Lamont Roach.
Roach. He really built his name though.
Yeah, right. I'm a fan of that guy now.
Yeah.
Beforehand, I saw them with the same build.
He looked good. He looked good.
He looked real good. I saw them with the same build going into that. I'm like, oh, this is going to be a good fight.
Yeah, but I think, but he was an underdog, right?
He was an underdog, yeah.
And it was a draw.
It was a draw.
Yeah, see, that's what I like. I thought Roach took it.
Did you see that Tank's fucking hairdresser came out and, like, she didn't even use grease? The product she used was grease-free.
Really?
Yeah. I feel like Tank got hurt a little bit. Did you see the video? Like, he took a shot before that.
Yeah.
I feel like he was rocked.
I agree.
And he's just kind of, like, making that excuse.
That's why I fucking hate boxing, bro. I don't hate it, but that's why I'm like, bro, what are we talking about?
Like, we're talking about the craziest excuse for getting rocked.
No, and it's like the 10-second rule. Like, nah, dog, jump on them.
Mm-hmm.
Ain't no 10-second rule in the UFC.
No, there's not.
That's why, you know what I mean? Like, there's levels to this shit.
There's differences.
You get a little pass with the 10 seconds and shit. What the fuck we talking about, bro?
Right.
Hell no.
I feel like that was a good fight, though. Did you watch it or no?
I watched most of the highlights. I didn't watch it.
Okay. I kind of watched, like, the second half of it. And yeah, that guy Roach was putting it on Tank for sure. Good ass fight. With boxing, I only like a few fights. Like I'll watch that Ryan Garcia Rolly fight. That's a good one. I like to watch Tank's fights usually. I'll watch like a Canelo, but sometimes that's like 50-50. Not huge on boxing. I'll watch a lot more undercards, fights than I do boxing main events. Terrence Crawford, he's aight.
Well, and then today with the big news of the UFC and Tariq and Nick Khan all coming in together and going to shake up the boxing world. And
hot take? I feel like it ain't gonna do shit. They don't got anybody. I mean, I guess because through Turkey they do, but this has like this, and I don't mean to like be so critical, but I'm gonna be critical. I feel like this has selling your soul written like all over it. I don't like the look of this. Like that Dana had to like come under Turkey to get this done. Like, why couldn't you do it on your own 10 toes, Dana? That's my only thing. Like the Turkey thing makes it like selling your soul.
I mean, I don't know. I honestly don't know that, but I will say this. As a UFC fan, as an MMA fan, the reason why I don't watch boxing is because to me, it's like a kiddie version of watching the UFC. It's too many rules. It's like putting up, like if you go bowling and you put up the fucking
so many circumstances.
Yeah, the 10-second shit, you can't. Nah, bro. I want to watch some UFC shit, dog. I don't give a fuck who they put in there, bro.
Yeah, but Dana's not going to change that part.
Yeah, of course, because that's not the product.
Right.
That you can't. So for me, you can't fix that. I don't give a fuck about everything else.
Okay, I got you.
If we end up getting to a point that one of these guys becomes like the next Floyd Mayweather, yeah, well, I'll watch probably one of the main events. Sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I probably would. Now, if there was a UFC fight night on and it's a fucking upcoming rising star, and it's that, I'm probably gonna go watch the UFC all day.
Mm-hmm. No, for sure.
I guess I'm not their target market.
Yeah, no, that's fair enough. And like, I like
I'm
that
not
point.
the boxing homie.
Because
I'm the MMA homie.
Dana, yeah, right. And Dana thinks that if he can like make the best fighters fight the best fighters, people are gonna like you are gonna watch it. But you're saying, you know, you're not really into it as far as like the best fighting the best even. It's more just so the product that they deliver as far as the rules and all the different bullshit that goes behind it. 10 belts. You got like 10 belts.
Who is Sean O'Malley talking with? Sean O'Malley talking shit too. Ryan Garcia and all of them, right?
Yeah.
Now, if they put Ryan Garcia in an MMA match, Sean O'Malley, I'm gonna watch that all day.
That's the only upside to it in my opinion.
That I'll watch. We know who's gonna win.
Yeah, but I'm like, fuck it. You know what I mean? If you could put it together like that, I'll watch that shit.
Yeah.
But also, like, okay, that's my only thing. Like, I'd like to see Dana do it for that reason, and I'm behind that. But to be honest with you, anything more than that, I don't really like. Like, I would rather see Dana continue to pour into the UFC. And I know he might want to make more money or do this or do that, but it's like, just continue to like having many hats. Like, you do power slap, you do this new thing with boxing, now you're doing UFC. Like, you can't give the UFC
the grappling, right? They got the grappling,
right.
You got the Dana White Contender Series. I mean,
right.
You got
so how much attention can you really give the UFC?
Right.
Maybe that's why there's not so many stars, because you have your hand in so many different like pots.
Well, and you probably feel like, oh, this is running so well that it just can run by itself. Let me go channel my energy over here, or that I can have enough energy where I can do all of it. You can get a little cocky, and sometimes what that does is it does water down the product. And maybe not now, but 4 or 5 years from now, we could have the same conversation. Like, dude, this shit looks different now.
And I think it's already being watered down slightly. We are, like, you hear me complaining often.
You know what? And it's crazy about this. Like, before you met me, I stopped watching UFC because I felt like they watered down the product. I was like, whoa, now you're giving us way too much. I don't even have time to build up an appetite for it. Mm-hmm. However, I did change my mind because I saw how many, and I see what you're saying with stars. I look at it like plants growing. I see how many plants they're growing in each part of the country, in each part of the nation, in the world. Like, wow, you got like top 20 guys here. You got top 20 guys here. You got top 20 guys here. You got top 20 guys here in every division. And then you got these other guys that are coming up. I was like, okay, maybe this product is looking really, really good. And every weekend I'm very excited. Mm-hmm. But I could have done, if they did 2 events a month, I'd still be happy. Okay. You could take away one event.
Yeah, that's another topic. A lot of people think that, you know, they like the consecutive events because a lot of people complain when there's like a week or 2 off. Like, they're so fucking addicted that the UFC is just filling the void sometimes by just giving us fights.
And it's like, you know, it's like dating someone. Like, sometimes you need a little space. Yeah. So I can miss you.
I don't know. I think personally this is the case, right? If you don't do Apex cards, and I don't really watch Ariel's show, but I see his clips, and I'm pretty sure he's saying the same narrative. So, right, I'm also critical of Ariel, but I also give credit whenever it's due. So Ariel has a good point. These events, right? If you book a UFC Anaheim, a UFC San Diego, right? You are going to localize the event. You're going to get local fighters from around the region, people who sell tickets, create a buzz, and you're going to make it a good event, right? Because you got to sell the tickets. There's something that is riding on it, right? You got to draw in the fan base. There's nobody you got to draw. Do that. Yeah, but there's nothing you're going to draw in at the Apex. So really, it's not even the stars is one thing, but the low quality of cards is a completely other thing, and the low quality of storytelling. Let me just add this to it. If you go to San Diego, there's a lot of buzzing gyms in San Diego. This is the UFC's old model. They would grab a few local fighters, right, and put them on the card. And then those few local fighters would create a little buzz, storytelling, and everyone would be behind them because it's local, right? Like, you might end up getting behind a guy if there's a San Diego card and you never heard of him, right? If you're like, oh, he trains in San Diego, down the street, let me go stop by the gym. Yeah. You're localizing this shit. You're creating these things. If there's just a UFC Apex card, there's none of that. The whole outside fan base, right? The media content, there isn't that. You're not saying, oh, there's a guy who trains down the street from my house. I can go there because that would be me for Anaheim.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, there's a lot of value in what you're saying right there. I agree.
Yeah, and so that's what they used to do. When they would go to Boston and Ireland and shit like that, how do you think Connor's teammates got signed?
Yeah.
You know?
No, I agree with that take actually.
So stars is one thing, but in my opinion, regardless if the viewership at home and is no different, right, from an Apex to a stadium show, there's way more things you got to consider, like I just mentioned, and I won't go over it again. But it doesn't just come down to the viewership experience. It has to do with like creating a market, and you create fans. You can't just create fans from TV all the time. You have to create experiences for people too.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like the Bellator experience. It was just something that we got to do, and it's something that created lasting memories. You feel me? Angela Hill and shit like that. We saw Khabib, gained experience, right?
Yeah, 100% agree with that.
Felt more validated, went to a real show, things like this. The Apex, you can't cover it like a real, media guy.
No, it could be so much more.
It could be a lot more. So really, like
for
I said,
all those takes you said.
Right. And I think Dana understands that. I think Dana might have rolled his eyes when he heard everybody kind of reporting what the president said of the UFC. Dana probably rolled his eyes. I think Dana will probably work towards less, but let's hope he doesn't get pushed back.
Well, aren't they building their own stadium for Apex?
I guess so. They're remodeling it or some shit.
I believe they're building their own stadium with like 10,000 seats.
Yeah. So we'll see. But the traveling is fun. Every week traveling, it's good, man. So we'll see what happens. You know what I mean? Okay. Yeah. UFC 313. Kind of break that down, I guess. It's not a big card, right? But we can talk about some fights.
It's a big card. Don't get me wrong. I mean, anything with Alex Pereira is a big card. Now, I'll just start off here with some of the prelims.
It's not a stacked card.
It is, but I mean, I see what you're saying. Joshua Van's going to be on the prelims. That's gonna be a good fight. Curtis Blades is on the prelims as well. Then you roll in. I mean, just to start the main card, you got Bobby Green versus Mauricio Ruffy. That's a good. I think he said people are saying his name wrong. Or I'm saying his name wrong. Now I would have moved the Amanda Lemus to the prelim and put the Joshua Van on the main card, or the Curtis Blades on the main card.
Yeah, for sure.
Jalen Turner versus Ignacio. I really want to watch that fight.
I think Turner.
Yeah, Ignacio, I feel is a dog.
Yeah.
He's on a 2-fight win streak, two knockouts in a row.
Bobby Green, Mauricio Rufi. It's a good one.
Ignacio's 1, 2, 3. He's 6-1 in his last 5-1 in his last 6 fights. He's a dog, bro. And I think Jalen Turner, there's something about him, bro. Like, I just don't trust him. I think he's a good fighter. I don't know. He has that, like, Kevin Holland a feeling for me.
Jalen
Turner, I'm sorry.
Well, he's kind of, showed his true colors, I guess you could say, a few times too many.
Yeah, so he lost to, he's fought good fighters. I mean, he lost to Moicano. He's so up and down. He looks good, he gets knocked out. He looks good, he loses. He looks good. So I don't know. I think Ignacio right now it's really his time.
Okay, I guess we'll see. We'll see.
And Turner, he's fought some really, he's fought a lot of good competition. Don't get me wrong, he's a dog. He's fought a lot of good competition.
He's good, but I mean, just looking at the record, like 14-8, I don't know what's going on. I mean, 7-5 in the UFC now.
But the guys he's fighting are really good guys. Got Gamrat on there, Moicano on there. So then you go right into the co-main, Justin versus Rafael Fiziev. So I mean, that's gonna be a banger. Then you go right into the. I mean, to me, bro, I'm gonna be glued to the TV. The only one I'm gonna go get a quick beer, maybe go to the store real quick, is the Amanda Lemus versus Jasmine fight.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't think it's that. I'm not that excited, to be honest, but it is what it is. I mean, I'm just trying to put into words what I feel like it's missing.
I love how we're like always on two ends of the spectrum.
I'm trying to put into words what I feel like it's missing.
It's missing a real co-main event.
I get, it doesn't even have to be a title.
The Justin Gaethje versus Rafael, that could have. I don't know, but think about this. This is what I always say, bro. Like when you get a card with, you get the championship fight. You got all ranked guys fighting on the card. I love that. I love that.
No, that is good.
Because there's always something on the line for these fights. It has magnitude to it. Even if it's a small magnitude, it still has magnitude. Like Bobby Green, bro. Bobby Green better not get another loss.
No. No, and it does.
Like, we talk about that light.
Gonna get a whole lot dimmer if Bobby Green loses.
Do not get another loss, dog.
Okay. You know, maybe I just have a too high of expectations. I can admit it.
I will say this too. You know,
Pereira Ankalaev is a great fight.
And Mauricio, he's 11-1.
Yeah, he is. I think what you're saying is kind of accurate. We're just missing a good co-main. Because I'm not buzzing for Gaethje Fiziev again. I've seen it.
Okay, and I see that. But they had to replace Dan Hooker.
They did. Dan Hooker would have been a better one. But maybe I'm being overly critical. I am excited for Pereira Ankalaev, and I think that is mostly what matters. If it was a shit main event, okay. But I am pretty stoked for Pereira Ankalaev just because there's a lot that's going into that.
Right, and there's a lot of questions that are going to be answered there because a lot of people are saying this is going to be his kryptonite.
Yeah, and I think the UFC wants Pereira to win this because they can make a whole lot more money with him as champion.
Right, and so like I think we talked about it 3 months ago was like, you know, the mega fight with John Jones or Tom Aspinall was like, and I think you said it, but he needs to, if he would have dodged this fight, people would have said, oh yeah, but he never fought Magomed. Now we get to see.
Now we get to see it.
And we're all going to have smiles, bro. When they walk out, we're all going to be like, let's go, bro.
Right. And it just kind of seals all doubt, right? It seals all doubt. You can't say anything else to Pereira.
Oh, yeah.
You can't.
And what's crazy is all these notions, and I saw Chael talking about it too, that Ankalaev is some wrestling specialist or something. He's a kickboxer too.
Yeah, he's not a grappler.
So I don't know where everybody in their mind after the past 12 months is like, Magomed is some fucking Habib, light heavyweight Habib.
Because he's from Dagestan, that's why.
That's the only reason why.
Yeah, that's the only reason why. And because Alex is a kickboxer. If Alex was a real MMA fighter, they probably wouldn't even be saying that.
So, and for the past 12 months, and I didn't even realize this either. Oh, and I forgot to give Manel Kape. You know who Manel Kape's, I'm sorry, we're going to do a little sidebar here.
Go for it. Mr.
Blunt. You know Manel Kape's coach is?
I'm guessing Eric Nixick.
Eric Nixick, you only team coaches champions, bro.
That motherfucker.
That was a sidebar.
Right. You know Eric Nixick's on my shit list.
Yeah, I was waiting to bring that one up. I forgot about it though. No, but Magomed, you know, in Chelsea, I don't know why everybody there's just been this notion out there. Mm-hmm. And like you said, the Dagestan thing. It's the Dagestan.
I think, okay, so to break this down a little bit, right? This is what I think is going to happen. I think Ankalaev isn't like a supernatural shooter. Like, you're better at pulling up the stats than me because I don't really look it up too much on the UFC website. But if you could, that would be great.
What are you looking for?
Just like Ankalaev's UFC stats to really put it to bed what you're saying. Okay. Like look at his percentage of takedowns per fight. I guarantee you it's like fucking less than 1.
Okay, so he has a lot of buzz around. He's 20-1.
Okay.
And 1. All right. So we get that. We get that. That's nice. He beat Ratchik in a decision. Guess who he beat before that?
Who?
Johnny Walker.
Okay. Neither one of those guys are grapplers.
I mean, does anybody care about that win? No. He draws with Blachowicz. I'm saying his name wrong. He beats Anthony Smith. No one cares about that fight. He beat Santos. Who's Santos? Do you know who Santos is?
No.
Yeah, he beat.
I know Santos. Yeah, yeah.
I don't even know if he's ranked. I don't know. I mean, but
Thiago fought John Jones for the title.
Did he?
Yeah, he did. People say he beat him. That's probably the years you weren't a fan.
That's back in 2022. Okay. Thiago Santos.
Okay, let me say this. Okay. Like I said, it says right here, Takedown average per 15 minutes, less than 1. Exactly as I predicted. 0.92. Let me add to that. Submission average per 15 minutes. Guess.
1.
0. Okay, that's not all. Takedowns attempted in his whole UFC career, 32. And he's only landing 30% of that. So basically he's shot 32 takedowns and he's got 10.
Magomed.
You want me to? Do I need to say more? Can
no,
people
you
get
don't.
off his dick about that?
You don't.
All right, thank you.
But you know what I learned too?
Huh?
Alex Pereira is a black belt now.
Yeah, he got it after one of his title fights.
I don't know how you get a black belt like that. I was like, all right, cool, bro.
Yeah.
Good. Hey, good for you, Obi. Hey, you're a black belt, dog.
Now he may be a suspect black belt.
Because I'm thinking he's like more of a brown belt or maybe like a purple belt.
He may be a little bit suspect. I'm gonna be honest.
But I have seen more videos of him training on the ground, which I love that.
Mm-hmm.
I love that he's still trying to evolve his game, and that Glover is in his corner, showing him how to do that. Because if there's a guy to show you, that's a good coach. That's a good person to teach you.
Let me give you a hot take. Speaking of Glover, hot take. Pereira's training partner in Glover, right? I feel like Prime Glover out-grapples Ankalaev.
Yeah, because
the feet and on the ground.
I don't know about. I honestly don't know about on the feet, but I know on the ground 100%.
On the ground, 100%. Glover takes 100%. It.
Oh yeah, you get choked the fuck out.
And so you take that, right? Basically training with the guy who's better at grappling than Ankalaev. So how is Pereira going to come in there with anything unchecked? I feel like he's got all his boxes checked.
Right. No,
and then some. Because
I agree with that.
Yeah,
because you're learning every day from someone that can beat you every day at it. So you may not be able to beat him 100%, but you're going to be a lot more sharper.
And he's better than the guy you're fighting.
Right, right.
You're training with a former UFC champion. Does Ankalaev have a belt? He doesn't yet. So just something to consider. I think, they're making a lot of the grappling. And even if there is grappling involved, Glover is a better grappler than Ankalaev. So 100%. It's not even, I don't think Alex is tripping. I like his energy too. Alex seems like he's cool and fucking collected as hell.
Yeah. No, he's a champ. He's a champ.
Yeah. And that's a big thing that goes into fighting, I must say, is once you sign that contract, right? How do you handle it? All the days and hours and minutes leading up to it, anxiety filled or relaxed. And the guy who can basically say, I'm fighting this guy, and then go ahead and like just be chill all the way up to it, like a Joaquin Buckley, right? He thrives. You can see it in him. Those are the guys who do really well. And Pereira seems like he's kind of thriving. Ankalaev, he's pretty closed off. You can't really tell what he's thinking, but Pereira seems super loose.
Yeah.
Is it just me?
Bro, I just think he knows he's that guy.
Yeah. I guess so. He knows something we don't.
Right now is just his time, bro. And if he gets this win, there'll be a lot of good shit in front of him.
Hey, that light about to get a whole lot brighter, baby.
We'll see how bright this motherfucker about to get.
Hey, what happened?
We're about to get got a lot brighter. We got a lot brighter.
Whatever you did, my screen went black. So don't. We're all good now, though. Okay. I mean, if you got something to, I don't want to be such a hater. I feel like I should be better. Not a hater, but I feel like I should be better at talking about some fights that aren't the best and just giving these guys some light. So let me work on myself. I'm not perfect. All right. You talked about Jalen Turner. It is what it is there. I'm not going to talk about that one. Gaethje Fiziev. Let's give him a little bit of light here. Who you taking? It is going to be a good fight, right? That's going to be a good one.
Fight. It's going to be a dog fight. It's going to be a war.
Yeah. Okay, different question.
Heart says Justin Gaethje.
Heart says Gaethje. Heart says Gaethje for me too.
But I could see Rafael getting it too.
Okay, since both of our hearts say Gaethje.
Rafael hasn't fought in like what?
That's why I'm leaning towards Gaethje.
A little rusty, right?
Long layoff, quick turnaround. Gaethje's been training.
Is it a 5-rounder?
3 5-minute rounds, yeah.
Okay, so
that favors Gaethje
because he has a little bit more cardio, huh?
Yeah.
Because I could see this. I could see maybe Raphael starting a little bit slower. So let's say it's two. It could be like a 3-4-1 scenario here, where maybe Raphael got one out, unless someone knocked the. But they didn't knock each other out in the first one. They just battled it out.
Yeah, but Gaethje had to resort to takedowns. Yeah.
All right.
Does Gaethje get a title shot or something like that if he wins?
I don't think so.
They're talking about it, but I got to be blunt, right? I'm giving them light here talking about it, but I cannot, just say whatever. So no, fuck no.
Yeah, you got to. I would think you'd have to get like a 3-fight win streak in order to get into that conversation, unless there was nobody left.
Or something happens where you beat the number one contender after Fiziev. Okay.
Right, because you got Armin sitting right there. You have Topuria now, but I don't think they're gonna give Topuria the immediate fight. Who's number 2?
I think they are. We're gonna have to see on that one. Ariel thinks they're gonna give him the immediate fucking title fight too.
I'd like to see him fight one person before they do that.
It's just like, why relinquish your fucking title then? Like you might be, and I'm not saying he is dumb, but on paper that might be a dumber move than Bilal's.
Armin Charles.
What are you getting to? Oh, you're saying who's ahead of him?
I'm just talking. I'm just talking out loud too.
Got you. Well, you're saying there's people ahead of him.
So it's Armin Charles, Topuria is kind of how I look at it.
Got you. The contenders.
Yeah, and so if Justin Gaethje, then I would love to see Justin Gaethje versus Topuria.
Yeah, right. Styles do make fights. Just because Gaethje got knocked out by Max doesn't mean that him and Topuria wouldn't be a good one too.
Oh yeah, 100%, 100%.
I kind of like that one if I'm being honest.
If I'm really being honest, I'd love to see Armin versus Topuria. But you said they're both from Georgia, so they probably wouldn't do it.
They're not going to do it.
Or Charles versus Topuria. Because I felt like that Charles and Armin fight was so... That Armin didn't walk over Charles.
Yeah, my thing with Charles, and maybe he'll prove me wrong, but I feel like Charles, he doesn't win those close ones. And so I feel like Topuria might take it from him.
It was so close because he had him both, man. He had him in such tight positions in that fight. If that was a 5-rounder, he may have got it.
Yeah. All right. And then Bobby Green, Mauricio. I mean, let's just look at Bobby's record real quick.
See, the other thing, too, about Bobby...
He's 50-50 over his last, 6. Not bad.
The thing about Bobby is he's such I'm a gangster, I'm a fighter, I don't give a fuck. I'll just walk out there and I'm just going to fight. I'm not going to watch any type of... any videos that he's done. I'm not going to take any type of, I'm just going to go out there and fight. I love that attitude about him, but you get to a point in your career where it has to be more than that.
Yeah.
It just if you want to be the next challenger for the contender,
kind of like Kevin Holland, right?
Yeah, I mean I like him more than Kevin Holland because at least he lets you know, hey, I'm just gonna if I win, I win. If I lose, I lose. You know what you're getting with Bobby Green.
But Bobby also, I think, cares more about winning too than Kevin. Kevin really doesn't care at all.
Okay, maybe, yeah. but to an extent where he's I'm just gonna go out there and fight. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah. Well, I think Bobby's got those two things, he cares about winning, but then he's also got this birdie on his other shoulder telling him to act like a crazy guy and be entertaining.
Right.
It works both ways for him. If you get that win and you're super entertaining and super showboaty, you really capitalize on that moment.
Yeah, and I think Kevin kind of shoots himself in the foot with his fan. I don't know. Kevin has a weird attitude, I guess.
Yeah. Kevin's a whole other story.
He is, yeah.
All right, I was going to tell you just a little topic that I kind of talked about, right? Reassessing Brady JDM.
Mm-hmm.
So I was talking to Phil Rowe yesterday. Not sure if you're familiar with him, are you?
Yeah.
Okay, so Phil Rowe, I was asking
from
him,
New York, right?
He's from New York, yeah, but he trains in Florida right now. And I was asking him, what do you think about this whole shuffle up with the welterweight title? Should Joaquin have gotten the call? Does JDM deserve it and shit like that? And last week I was saying Joaquin's getting this good opportunity. He's going to fight Kamaru, and it's all going to be good. But Phil gave me another perspective, which is he feels like Joaquin should have got that call and gotten that opportunity to change his life and feed his family, because there's no way in hell he would have said no.
Oh, hell no, he wouldn't have said no.
And so that makes me question, right? And I got to ask him. I don't want to bother the guy, so I don't know how I'm going to reach out. I wish I could just call him right here on the pod. I could if I wanted to, but I don't want to bother the fucking guy.
Joaquin?
Yeah, but I'm dying to know, and I'm going to have to text him sooner or later. I'm dying to know if he cares, because if he wants that opportunity to change his life tomorrow, he could have got it if they called him. But at the same time, if he's like, let me get that Usman fight, I don't know if he still wants that or not. So that's what I'm wondering, how he feels. Like, is he bummed, or is he like, no, I still get the Usman fight, I'm chilling?
You know, I think it's a blessing in disguise almost, right?
That's the narrative I've been saying, but then Phil gave me that other perspective.
I mean, of course, there's two sides of that coin, right? It is. It's life-changing, right? Especially if you win.
Yeah.
It's a whole different, you know, and so you want the chance. And I think I said this kind of last time, is like, put me in, motherfucker. But he's done so much this past year. I think I think you need a little bit of time sometimes when you've been able to kind of grind your way out and put yourself in the convo and become undeniable. Because if he beats Kamaru Usman, he will become undeniable. The money will be there.
Right.
And you get to rest your body, you get to rest your mind, you get to go into camp refreshed. Fucking all right, 2 fights a year, you got a little bit more money in there. You don't have to make those hard decisions and put your body through all that hard work to get to that point. But like, I 100% agree. Of course, if the call came, like,
both are true, right? He would have taken it. He probably wishes he got it. There's no way he would have said no. Yeah. But if I'm being honest, I do think it was a blessing in disguise.
And yeah, and it's almost like, I think you kind of felt like maybe JDM didn't take it he took it more like, oh, okay, I guess I'll be the next guy. Or Joaquin would have been like, fuck yeah, let's run that motherfucker.
Let's run it up.
Yeah.
Right. But without thinking about some of the things you mentioned, where it's like, it is better to kind of
like what you said, like
to it a little bit more, because that money's going to be even higher once you get there. Short notice, I don't think you get that same money.
You're going to get a good payday for Kamaru Usman. That's not going to be that's going to be a good payday.
Your worth is solidified too.
Oh yeah. And then if you beat Kamaru Usman, and then it's like, all right, we're only fighting top 2-3 guys now. Number 2, number 3, or number 1. Who you want to give me?
Yeah, fair enough.
For the champion. Because now you can't, I'm not fighting. You're at a point where like, I'm not fighting down.
Yeah. So that's what I was kind of thinking too. So I'm going to stick with what I've been thinking. Same with what you're saying. Blessing in disguise. But I don't doubt he wouldn't have taken it, and I don't doubt that he didn't want it. You know. Here's
a tough thing, right? Let's say things don't line up the way he wants them, and the UFC says, okay, we want to give you Ian Gary.
That's going to be kind of crazy.
Right. Because you're in it's, but I think
I say fuck no. What do you say?
I say fuck yes. Because if you think you're the best, you'll fight anybody. If you believe you're the best and you are the best and it's a great challenge, you'll fight, and you're still going to get paid.
Right. And I know that it's like, okay, this is where I come into play, right? Because Joaquin's not going to do this bitching and moaning. So in a way, I have to, right? And this is going to sound a little petty. So of course, this is why he's not going to say it. But in my opinion, it's like, okay, so Brady gets Leon, which isn't super like different from getting like an Ian Gary fight. But mostly it's like JDM, right, gets like even, what's it called? The title shot. And now Joaquin's fighting a guy coming off a loss, right? And I just feel like, make it fair. But then again, bitching and moaning about fairness only gets you so far. And you come off super whiny.
And this is why I love this division, right? Is because
when I don't even want to fucking put that Ian Gary shit in there, because I would not like that.
Well, and there's so many guys right now, you know, that you talk about, the Sean Brady, the JDM, Leon Edwards, Joaquin, Ian Gary, did I say Shavkat? Bilal, Michael Morales, Carlos Bretes. You know, these guys are, I mean, there's like 10 guys just right there. Just all of them are like top 5 guys.
Yeah. No,
that is now pushed out.
You bring up a very interesting
Gilbert Burns is now pushed out.
Yeah.
Jeff Neal's now kind of pushed out. Even Michael Morales, bro, that's going to tell us a lot in that Gilbert Burns. Bro, imagine Michael Morales gets that win against Gilbert Burns, and it's a dominating win. And he's still undefeated. And he gets now in the top 10. Like, what's up, dog? Carlos Bretes gets a win. What's up, dog?
Yeah, so what you bring up a good point, though, because if not Usman, right, Shavkat is basically next up for the title.
And you heard what Bilal said. He's not even giving Leon Edwards a chance to refight him.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
no,
you know what
no, really, it's interesting. Well, let me say this. It's interesting because Buckley really has two opponents at this point, and one of them isn't the guy I want, right? One of them is the Gary fight, and then the other one is Usman. So, very interesting. That's a developing situation I haven't really considered. Could be Gary, could be Usman. We'll see.
Yeah. Yeah, and here's the thing: if Usman doesn't take a fight, he still sits on the shelf. What is Usman doing? Now
that's the problem. If Usman doesn't, what I'm trying to say. If Usman doesn't take the fight, then Buckley might be forced into a Gary fight or sitting out. But the problem is that there's already another title shot lined up, unless he fights Shavkat for it, which I would love to see. Give him Shavkat. That's what I'm saying. I'm not like it. It doesn't have to do with the opponent, but give him the higher ranked opportunity. I think he deserves it. I don't think he deserves to, because if Joaquin, this is my argument, right? If Joaquin fights Ian Gary and he beats him, so what? He beat the number 6 guy. You're gonna give him a title shot? No, you're not. You're gonna keep saying the same thing about him. He needs to do more.
Let's say this. Let's say JDM loses, Sean Brady loses, Joaquin and Ian Gary win. That pushes him up into the top 5 automatically. Because it pushes Sean Brady and JDM underneath the top 5.
If they were to both lose.
Right. I mean, we're going to see a lot in this next 30 days.
Let me call for this, right? Since we're assessing it.
Because in 30 days, all these questions are going to be answered.
Mm-hmm. Let me call for this. If, like, I got to be the advocate, right? Because I just got to. If Usman doesn't want to fight Joaquin, right? Shavkat wasn't ready. Another title eliminator for Shavkat. In my opinion.
Yeah, I do not disagree with that.
I just feel like
and he didn't have a dominating performance.
He didn't. And it's just like
I think a lot of people kind of put him on that pedestal and then we saw a little bit of
one fight in a year.
Because that Ian Gary fight was close. It was very close.
But that was his only fight in like the last year, and before that he's only fighting once a year. With a guy like Joaquin who's just running through the division, like I'm sorry, Shavkat, but you can't just keep doing that where you're barely active. I agree with that. And with that being said, a guy like Ian Gary, who I do respect, and I do want to see the Buckley fight down the line when it's right for both guys. So a guy like Machado Gary, who does he get? What happens to him?
He probably fights the loser of Sean Brady, Leon Edwards, or the winner.
Okay. Yeah, give Ian
or give Joaquin the winner of Leon Edwards versus
Sean Brady.
Yeah.
Okay. Gotcha.
Because Sean Brady's going to be pushed up, or Leon Edwards is still going to maintain be the number 1 contender, and Leon Edwards is going to want to fight the champ.
So I think welterweight, when it was a lot more clear a few months ago. Right now, super confusing on who to match who.
These next 30 days are going to tell us a lot, though. We're going to know a lot.
But normally we go through this, and it's very clear who to match up. This one is like, we got to wait for a couple fights to take place. We got to see if Usman's coming back from injury, Shavkat's coming back from injury.
But we're going to get the Leon Edwards, Sean Brady fight. We're going to get the Bilal JDM fight. We're going to get the Carlos Praetus, Jeff Neal fight. We're going to get the Gilbert Burns, Michael Morales fight. There's 7 fighters right there in that division going to fight in the next 60 days.
Right, and then but some of the other guys who aren't booked already, they're injured, which just adds to it, so they're not available. So there's just a lot going on. Yeah.
Oh, and Randy Brown's fighting Nick Dalby.
Yeah, that's a good fight. And then you got Stephen Thompson at fucking 11. What the hell is he still doing in those rankings? He doesn't even look like he belongs anymore.
I know. Yeah, Boogaloo. I'm telling you, these pretty soon, the Gilbert Burns, the Kobe Covingtons, Stephen Thompson, Michael Venom Page, they're going to be in that top 5 position, and all these new dogs are going to come in.
All right, fair enough. All right.
Hey, watch out for my boy Gabe.
Hey, so
Bonfim. Watch out for Bonfim.
Hey, Bonfim's coming. But hey, so a couple topics left for the day.
Does your boy want Bonfim?
Who?
The homie you just did the interview with.
He might be down, but he didn't mention Bonfim.
That's a tough one.
We'll see.
Bonfim's ready.
We'll see. Hey, I would love it. Honestly, though, Jacoby Smith, this is my thing about Jacoby. I'm telling you. Believe me when I tell you. This guy, he's like talking crazy like he wants that title shot now.
I love it.
A guy like Bonfim, in my mind, after speaking with this guy, I'm like, yeah, Bonfim's too low ranked. This guy wants like the fucking top dogs, like the top of the top.
You gotta earn your way there, though, right?
Gotta earn your way there.
Yeah.
Two things on the rest of to end the day. Demetrius Johnson married a snow bunny. Just a funny topic. What's it called? Somebody commented. They said that like Mexican chicks are the same as like black chicks. Like they kind of like bully you.
They can.
They can. They're a little bit more, I guess, charismatic.
They're spicy.
Spicy.
Yeah,
That's a fair way of putting it.
Spicy for sure. They're gonna let you know how they feel for sure.
Yeah. I feel like DJ though, it's kind of maybe a him problem. He's kind of a small guy.
Yeah, I think it's any.
You think the black chicks are kind of like they do that to all black dudes?
They're gonna have attitude. They're gonna have attitude.
They all have attitude.
Attitude for sure.
Okay, interesting.
And talk back for sure.
Okay. So DJ doesn't like the talking back.
It's not gonna be like yes, dear, okay, all right, whatever you want. No.
I guess you could say the submissive wife.
But not gonna be a submissive wife.
Okay, so that's fair to say that's not even being like fucked up by saying like black chicks and Latinas are not submissive.
No, or Asian.
Well, Asian, that's a stereotype that they're submissive.
They're not. No, meet a Filipino chick. Meet a fucking.
Hey, my girl's
the,
Filipino, so I could vouch for you. My girl's kind of spicy herself.
Oh, I bet she is.
Yeah,
I know Filipino chicks because in that family, the wife is more dominant than the male. In that culture. I
mean, I think to some degree, yeah.
Yeah, I know.
That's not gonna be like in my household, right? But I see it. Like I've seen her family dynamic, and it is like that to some degree.
Yeah, the culture's like that too. Yeah. Like, don't get me wrong, it's still like very male dominant. You know what I mean? But like the barks, the bite's gonna be there. You know.
Well, let me give you an example. I feel like one of the main professions for Filipinos who come to America is nursing, right? And that's obviously like a mainly female-driven job. There are males who do it.
But that's a nurturing.
It's a female-driven industry. So that right there, right, is like going to create where like if they come to America and nursing is the ticket out, a lot of times you're going to have the wife working nursing and the dad being stay-at-home, which is reversed from here. But it's because the career choice that they kind of go for is just kind of like a female-driven one. Yeah.
Yeah, but regardless, spicy for sure. Attitude.
Spicy. No, but Asian chicks get a reputation for being submissive.
Not the American ones.
Not the American ones. I feel like that one, it's like a 50-50. Like you might get like a submissive one, but you might not.
Yeah. I mean, there's submissive Mexican chicks too, but behind closed doors, but they're gonna talk some shit.
Yeah. What about white chicks? Are they pretty like submissive? I had like a white girlfriend in high school and shit like that.
That's 50-50 too.
Yeah.
50-50.
Yeah, but the hyenas and the black chicks, they're a little bit more aggressive, a little bit more aggro. There ain't no submissiveness in there.
I'll let you know. Attitude all day.
All right. I'll share a story with you. So last time, right, it was my Zoom that I didn't pay. Right. So this week, or on like Monday or Tuesday, I think it was, because rent was due. Right. It was the first like a few days ago.
Yeah.
So I had another fucking bill problem. I didn't pay my fucking internet. And before the Jacoby Smith interview, I woke up, the internet wasn't fucking paid. I luckily had enough money to like transfer it to pay for it, but I was on like my last fucking dollar, bro, to the point where I wasn't paying my internet so I could have enough money in my account to pay my rent. Right. And then so I finally, I woke up and I was like, fuck, I'm not going to be able to get the interview done. So I paid the rent or the internet, got it locked in. But then I had like these guys coming in my house. And like because my neighbor upstairs moved out. I'm just telling you a little preface. I'm telling you my crazy ass morning before this interview I just did. But it's a part of the hustle, right? You gotta fucking grind. You can't fucking cancel on shit. So this is what happened. I had to pay for my internet, and then I fucking like with my last pennies. I didn't even have enough to pay for groceries and shit, bro. But it's what you gotta do. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. On
top of that, they turned off the fucking water because they're repairing the upstairs apartment because he moved out. And it was supposed to be at 9 a.m. They shut that shit off at 8:40 a.m.
So you could take a shower?
Yeah, because in my mind, I'm like, all right, 9 a.m. I'm going to go shower real quick. I got 20 minutes. I turned that bitch on, and that shit turns right off like 2 minutes after I turned it on. Luckily, I didn't hop in, though. Because I'm trying to like send the Zoom link. I'm like waiting for the shower to heat up, sending the Zoom link. And then, as if that's not bad enough, right? The water's off. And I brushed my teeth before the water turned off. But my hair's a fucking mess. Like, I got to shave and shit. So I pull out like the electric shaver I don't even use anymore, but like that had to do that morning. And then I had to like, I did a bird bath, like in the sink. Like I just had to wash my face with like a cup of water, you feel me? Cause I buy these 5-gallon jugs of water. So I have a lot of water on deck. So I was able to like pour it in a cup and then like wipe my hair and shit. Like
you were living like Themba back in the day.
Fucking straight ghetto lifestyle.
Yeah.
And then while I'm doing that, right, it just kept getting crazier and crazier. Like my morning kept fucking escalating. So my mom just moved back to California.
Okay.
So she's back in California. She's like kind of staying with her friend. They're like best friends. She has like her friend lives by herself and she's like almost like 70 or something like that. So they love to just like be together. Anyway, my mom stopped by to bring me fucking like food. Like she cooked me like chicken and spaghetti and shit. And like, so I'm like trimming my hair. My mom has a key to my house and like she just comes in. And she's like, Jacob, I'm like, Mom, I got an interview in like 15 minutes. Like, you can't be here right now. Like, the internet's not paid. Like, this is too much. Like, way too much is going on. I'm like bird bathing in the fucking sink and you have to see this shit. Like, what the hell? And I don't even have time to explain it to you.
This is the embedded episode.
I guess so, right? So that's my fucking crazy ass morning. And then I had to ask Jacoby for like an extra 5 minutes before I hopped on. I'm like, yo, I need 5 minutes. Like, I know we agreed to like, 9 a.m. or whatever, but I'm like 9:05. So I hopped on. We got a good interview in, but hey, that's the hustle. You know what I'm saying?
That's part of the story. That's part of the journey.
It's part of the journey. Yeah. Fucking struggling every first of the month to pay my goddamn rent. And then fucking, I don't have enough to pay my Zoom 1 month. Now it's fucking my internet this month. I went like 2 days without internet.
It's kind of reminds me of, you remember that the clip in Dumb and Dumber? He goes, our birds' heads are falling off.
I'll have to refresh myself. Why? What happened there?
No, the bird's head fell off.
Oh, for what?
Because they didn't have any money.
Oh, wait. But it's fucking connected through flesh.
Well, something happened.
Just something happened. They're losing everything. Figure of speech.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so fucking, I'd be struggling, but we're doing good. Getting some good views on YouTube too, so.
What's up? Yeah, and I've seen all the clips you've been dropping. I've been trying to like and comment and fucking.
Yeah, the JDM one, people liking that one.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Hey, the homie Parry Punch is grinding.
Grinding.
Need that.
We're gonna get there. We're gonna get there for sure. And
see
drop some fucking.
Hey, you see your boy Crazy Kev dropped some. He missed again.
More fake news.
More fake news, and then like he posted something like a fighter is supposed to be in his town and that he's hosting with him.
Yeah.
I'm like, bro.
I was thinking that guy effectively tarnished his name to the point where I think if you were to reach out for an interview, if you were him and reach out for an interview, I feel like the fighters would be like, nah, like you're that guy. Like they know him through a bad reputation.
It's getting to that point, but I think fighters are still doing it. But it's.
Have you looked at his YouTube channel?
No, but I did hear people saying that he's.
So people are still going on there.
Yeah.
Damn, that's crazy. All right.
But anyway.
Whoever goes on there, bro, I might have to question your intelligence.
Big news. This Saturday, we'll be doing an MMA seminar with Marlon Vera.
Cheeto? Oh, yeah, he pays to attend those. Like, it's like...
Yeah, exactly. That's what he's all like, but I'll be doing the seminar with him.
Yeah.
Bro. Like, bro, everybody's doing the seminar with him.
Yeah, shut the fuck up.
Everybody's afraid.
I swear, he's got to screw loose, that kid.
Bro, he lives in delusional world, bro. He lives in like fucking La La Land.
I'm pretty sure he lives with his parents still.
I don't know.
He ain't like me.
No, he's not like you.
Yeah, that's a fact.
Bro, you're like 6'2". This motherfucker's like 4'11".
On top of that,
even if you saw him in person, you were talking shit. You were like, kind of like, oh God, never mind, bro. Like,
yeah, for a fact.
You ever see like when you dismiss people like, shoo?
I try to be a little bit more polite, but if I have to,
that's a motherfucker you don't. That's a motherfucker you don't be polite to.
No, exactly. He would try to. I feel like he would try me. That's my thing with him. I feel like he would. He's that delusional. But I'd have to happily just like you
can't even
ruin his life real quick if I had to. Shout out Crazy Kev. Do you remember when I commented saying like I'm your daddy because he tried to like correct one of my posts? Fuck that guy. Fuck that guy, man.
Ding 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 ding. All right, man. Is that it?
That's it. All right, we're out of here. End the stream.